Hi everyone, Pete Pistone here for MotorRacingNetwork.com. Day 4, the 2013 NASCAR Sprint Media Tour coming to a close here at Joe Gibbs Racing. But before I give you a recap of what happened on the final day, let's go back to Wednesday night. The tour rolled up to Mooresville, North Carolina to Penske Racing, where team owner Roger Penske met the media along with his newest addition, Joey Logano, and 2012 Sprint Cup Series champion Brad Keselowski, who says he brings an air of confidence into the new year as he tries to repeat as champion with his same Miller-Lite team intact.
The swagger of a champion comes from being surrounded by people you trust. That's, for me, where it comes from. It might be different for someone else. It doesn't come from having a magic setup. It doesn't come from any of those things, or being on a lucky streak. It comes from having confidence in the people you're surrounded by. And the majority of those have either stayed the same, or the few places where we've made changes, we've made improvements, and that makes me ready to go.
New teammate Joey Logano takes the wheel of the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford. He says he's hoping to learn a lot on and off the track from the champion Keselowski.
It's always interesting just to go out there and look at a different driver's data, and okay, how does he make a car go fast, and with driver inputs, and then seeing what he does off the racetrack has been equally exciting and impressive to me, to see what he does off the racetrack. So he's definitely going to make me a better race car driver, and hopefully I can do the same for him and build this company even stronger than what it is.
Penske also announcing that Hertz will sponsor Joey Logano for one Sprint Cup Series race and 7 races in the NASCAR Nationwide Series season. Thursday, things kicked off with a Ford Racing visit, including Richard Petty Motorsports, the combo platter of Marcus Ambrose and Eric Almirola back again for the King. Ambrose is looking very much forward to getting back behind the wheel of the number 9 Fusion.
Yeah, we're really buoyant. We're excited. We've had good testing. We had a bit of a boo-boo there at Daytona, and we've rebuilt from that. We've managed to save our cars and get them rebuilt. So we've got plenty of cars in the fleet. We've got a lot of motivation to do well in 2013. We feel like we've got all the tools in place to have an exceptional year.
The tour then moved back to the NASCAR Hall of Fame for a session with Roush Fenway Racing. Rookie of the Year candidate Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is hoping to make a good run as he takes the wheel of the number 17 Ford Fusion, hoping to learn a lot from his teammates Carl Edwards and Greg Biffle.
It's great to have teammates that win races and compete for championships. I learned a lot from Carl on and off the racetrack, and we just did a Best Buy photo shoot the other day, and talking to him about the teamwork that we're going to need this year to succeed as a large company. And I told him I'm committed, ready to do whatever I can, and hopefully I can bring something to the table. They've got a lot of experience that I'm going to lean on. Definitely better than doing it by yourself.
Roush Fenway Racing also going to field a 2-car Nationwide Series team to run for the championship in 2013. Trevor Bayne steps into the number 6 Ford Mustang, while Travis Pastrana takes the wheel of the number 60 Ford Mustang. And the former action sports star Pastrana talked about his conversations with Jack Roush about going full-time NASCAR racing in 2013.
Everyone's like, where do you want to go? Hey, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that. We'll look for sponsors. I'm like, forget the sponsors for now. Like, let's look at the teams. I said, I like the drivers on this team. I like the foundation. I like everything about it. So I called up, Roush Racing, and directly I talked to him. And when I finally got a hold of Jack, he said, well, before we even talk about anything else, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I was like, well, he said, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I said, racing NASCAR. He said, racing or winning? I said, Jack, I see myself winning championships in 5 years. I said, all right, good. We can talk. So, that's, this isn't a short-term thing, unless, I don't do really well, and then I'm sure I'll be booted out. But, it's we got a whole year to figure this out, and I've got all the resources that I could ever imagine right there at my fingertip.
Pastrana also addressed the wild paint scheme that he'll run on that number 60 Ford this season.
Well, mostly, my dad's not really going to want to take any responsibility for this, being a Marine and everything, but he said, son, I can never see you on the track. He goes, I can't find you anywhere. Last year we had a pretty, it was mostly black and gray, and also it was really hot in the summer because it was obviously black cars, warm. So I said, I don't want any black. Or as little as possible, and I want to stand out. So let's just go 80s. So it's a little more pink than I was liking, but I think it's pretty sweet.
After the Roush Fenway racing session, there was a parade of Ford vehicles down the streets of uptown Charlotte outside the NASCAR Hall of Fame. And the newest addition to the Ford camp, Brad Keselowski of Penske Racing, talked about watching all those Fords in the Queen City.
It's just a fun event, you know. I mean, it reminds me a lot of the Vegas drive that we do. It's very similar, but it's just cool to be out in the city and driving a race car.
Then the tour rolled up here to Huntersville, North Carolina, to the headquarters of Joe Gibbs Racing, the 3-car stable in the Sprint Cup Series this year. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, and newcomer Matt Kenseth all met the media. Busch talked about his contract extension that'll keep him driving the M&M's Toyota for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it's something that's really exciting that we've been working on for a long time, and I probably took a few years off Coach's life, but hopefully not. I'll repay you somehow, maybe with some championships. But really, a lot of things went into this negotiation, this offseason and whatnot. So it was really fun, though. Guys were great, and I've re-signed for multi-years, as well as a part of that agreement being to bring over the Monster Energy piece. And Joe was adamant about me racing his nationwide cars out of his place at Joe Gibbs Racing. So as a part of my deal, I'll be now rejoining forces over here with Adam Stevens and myself running the number 54 Monster Energy Camry for about 25 races or so in a nationwide series, and then we'll fill out the rest of the races with some younger talent to get out there, of course, and fill in the non-companion races.
And newcomer Matt Kenseth will run for someone outside of Jack Roush for the first time in his Sprint Cup Series career as he joins Joe Gibbs Racing. He teamed up with crew chief Jason Ratcliffe. Kenseth says he's already feeling at home here at JGR.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it sounds like Kyle and Denny already tied for the championship this year, but
there's still time to catch up.
But I am really looking forward to it. Obviously, this was a big move for me. I feel like it's really a new beginning. I feel like it's a great opportunity to go out here, work with Denny and Kyle and all these people at Joe Gibbs Racing, Brian as well, and go out here and hopefully compete for some wins and hopefully put us in a spot to try to race for a championship again. So really excited to be here. Excited to get back in Nationwide Series. Me and Brian will be teammates there, and Kyle. I think our race count is growing a little bit, but looking forward to having Research, brand new sponsor in the sport, which is always really exciting to bring them along. And looking forward to getting back in that series and hopefully winning some races. There's a lot of pressure there too. You know, their nationwide cars don't seem to run too bad. So if you don't win, it's definitely going to be a failure. So I think there's going to be some pressure there, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
So that brings out the checkered flag for the 2013 edition of the NASCAR Sprint Media Tour. We've got lots more at MotorRacingNetwork.com, including daily recaps from everything that went on this week in Charlotte, plus videos and much more. So keep it right here at MotorRacingNetwork.com. Reporting from Joe Gibbs Racing, this is Pete Pistone.